We're going to talk about targeted attacks. It's a pretty hot topic right now, and we're basically going to see how cybercriminals can penetrate corporate networks pretty much easily nowadays, and what can be the consequences of that, and in the end, how can we stay protected. I'd like to show you first a brief overview of the malware situation. So, malicious applications, they're growing, like really growing. We don't see any kind of trend that they're going to stop anytime soon. So we're seeing, for example, in 2009 alone, we processed more than 14 million malicious samples. 14 million malicious samples is like more than 1 million a month, more than 300,000 a day, which is a lot, I can tell you. It's really a lot. They're stealing it, of course. This is what they do. But how are they stealing it? It's basically three methods. They're either stealing it directly from the user, like getting his online banking transactions intercepted, or stealing his credit card numbers, or even blackmailing the user, so basically getting money directly from the user. So if you don't have money, the cybercriminals will use your IT resources to provide other services to other cybercriminals. Things like helping other people creating botnets, sending spam, launching DDoS attacks, collecting password, renting computing power, and stuff like that. And last but not least, and this is the thing that we're going to talk about today, they can use the infected computers to provide access to third parties, to interested third parties, to different corporate networks or small and medium businesses. What are they looking for inside corporate networks? Well, keep it short, it's basically confidential data, right? According to Google, basically they decided to quit the Chinese market due to a very sophisticated targeted attack that their Chinese office suffered. So the thing is, their blog post was made public on January 12th, and Microsoft released a patch that would repair the vulnerability that was being used in these attacks on January 21. So it was more than 1 week between the moment when the vulnerability was made public and the moment when Microsoft actually patched this vulnerability. But the thing is, the cybercriminals, they only need 1 hour, a window of 1 hour, to be able to penetrate a corporate network if they have the vulnerability. They don't even need 1 week. What's the difference? I mean, what's the difference between malware used in classic attacks and malware used in targeted attacks? Well, I like to compare them with, I like to use this metaphor. So targeted attacks are like a lethal injection, while classic malware is like a hail of bullets. So somebody just randomly shooting at the, well, audience. Well, not the audience. Anyway, so the thing is, targeted attacks, first of all, they are not epidemics. The cybercriminals, they don't need to spread thousands of emails, thousands of samples over the internet to get to their victim. They just need to send one email to the right person using the right social engineering technique, and that's it. So it's like a lethal injection. This is the reason why it is very hard to get samples, because targeted companies, they are usually not very eager to share results publicly. It's very hard for AV companies to get samples for analysis. And at the same time, even if we got all the samples for analysis, it's very hard to protect, because malware used in targeted attacks is usually unique. It's tailored and designed exactly for the victim. This is why we are shifting towards new proactive defense technologies. I divided the strategy in like 4 simple steps so that anybody can understand how targeted attacks are being done. First step, profiling the employees. This is the reconnaissance step. Cybercriminals are gathering information about their future victim. They are choosing the most vulnerable targets inside the corporate network. The attackers usually target people in their own country or in their own region. After the reconnaissance part, they start developing a new and unique malware attack. What does this mean? It means that they are going to create like a unique malware sample that hasn't been used before, that isn't detected by the victim. So the thing is, the malware sample, it doesn't need to be undetected by all antivirus solutions. It just needs to be undetected by the one AV solution that is being used by the victim. Corporate monoculture can really lead to problems, because you have these big organizations with thousands or tens of thousands of people working in them, and they are all using the same software. So, third step, gaining control and maintaining access. You know, usually corporate networks are designed using this egg strategy, like I like to call it. So corporate networks are like an egg. It's pretty hard on the outside. The contents of the egg cannot go outside. But the moment when you punch a hole inside the eggshell, all the contents can get out. So usually networks are being protected from outside threats, but once you are inside, you can freely move around and do whatever you want to do. So the initial exploit just drops a piece of malware on a computer, and then the cyber criminals are just free to do whatever they want inside the network, because the networks are usually protected against outside threats. So after gaining control and maintaining access, the last thing they need to do is to get the good stuff out. So usually speed is important. They need to get the good stuff out as fast as possible. So what they are usually doing, they are moving the data from the important places to some sort of overseas server that is geographically very close to where they are located, to where the cyber criminals are located. And they are using the corporate intranet to do this. It's not very hard, because at the end, they want to get the data out. Targeted attacks are becoming mainstream. And this is mostly because we are sharing so much personal information over the internet right now. I mean, back in the day when the cyber criminals were trying to launch a targeted attack, it was very hard for them to do the reconnaissance process. It was very hard for them to find out information about the victim. But right now, the victims are sharing the information by themselves on social networks and on the internet generally. And here are some tips, some advices I prepared for, well, you and your readers on how to survive these targeted attacks. And the first thing is that people must have a proper security mindset. And I'm talking here about education. I'm talking here about a decent level of security awareness. And just a decent level of security awareness wouldn't be enough in companies. Companies need to train their people to develop policies on how to handle these targeted attacks. And the advice that I usually give is that employees should have some sort of reporting process. So even if the employees are highly educated in terms of security, if they identify a targeted attack and if they don't fall for it, what are they going to do? Well, they need to have some sort of reporting process to report attempted attacks on the company. And the company, of course, should have a follow-up procedure on how to handle this. And the best idea would be to have like a 24-hour security team ready to respond as fast as possible to these threats. Now, that's the human side of things. But there are technical methods that can also protect us, and it's like very easy and very recommended to follow these steps. So the first thing is to minimize the attack surface. The bigger your attack surface is, the bigger the chance you're going to get infected. So, like Rul showed you in the previous presentation, third-party plugins can be really painful for the network. So probably fewer third-party plugins or using alternative browsers or even alternative plugins is definitely a good idea. Then frequent patches and updates. Of course, all the software needs to be updated on the network. But most of the times, as you saw at the beginning of the presentation, there are no updates. For like 1 hour, for 1 week, there's no update available for a potential hole. And this is where we come into place. This is where security companies like us are developing proactive security technologies to defend potential victims against threats that are out there.